This is the scary story of three friends who heard stories about mutations caused by the radiation spread in Chernobyl after the nuclear explosion in 1986. We were three friends who wanted to explore the abandoned city of Pripyat near the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. We had heard stories of the mutations caused by the radiation spread in Chernobyl after the nuclear explosion in 1986. But we didn't believe them. We thought it would be a fun adventure to see the ghost town and the reactor that changed history. We hired a guide who agreed to take us there illegally, avoiding the checkpoints and the patrols. He said he knew the safe routes and the hot spots to avoid. He also gave us some dosimeters and masks to measure the radiation levels and protect ourselves from the dust. He warned us not to touch anything and to stay close to him. We arrived at Pripyat after a long drive through the woods. The city looked frozen in time, with buildings, cars, and toys left behind by the people who fled. We saw the famous Ferris wheel, the swimming pool, and the school. We took some photos and videos, feeling a mix of curiosity and sadness. The guide told us some stories about the people who lived there and the disaster that happened. We then headed to the power plant, where the guide said we could see the sarcophagus that covered the reactor. He said it was the most dangerous place, but also the most interesting. He said we had to be quick and quiet because there were more guards and sensors there. He said he had a secret spot where we could get a good view of the sarcophagus without being detected. We followed him through a fence and a tunnel until we reached a dark room with a window. He pointed to the window and said that was the sarcophagus. We looked and saw a huge concrete structure with pipes and wires sticking out. It looked like a giant tomb hiding a terrible secret. We felt a chill in the air and our dosimeters started to beat faster. The guide said we had to leave because the radiation was too high. He said we had to go back the way we came and not to make any noise. We nodded and turned to follow him. But then we heard a loud roar from behind the window. It sounded like a beast, angry and hungry. We froze in fear and looked at the window again. We saw a shadow moving behind the glass, something big and hairy, with glowing eyes and sharp teeth. It was a mutation, a monster, a product of the radiation. It had seen us, and it wanted us. The guide screamed and ran, dropping his flashlight. We ran after him, but we lost him in the dark. We tried to find the exit, but we were lost. We heard the monster breaking the window and chasing us. We heard its footsteps, its breath, its growls. We ran for our lives, but we knew we had no chance. We reached a dead end, a wall with a door. We tried to open the door, but it was locked. We banged on it, hoping someone would hear us, but no one came. The only thing that came was the monster. It appeared at the end of the corridor, blocking our way. It was huge, like a bear, but with horns, scales, and claws. It looked at us with a malicious grin and licked its lips. It was the end. We hugged each other and said goodbye. We closed our eyes and waited for the pain. But then we heard a gunshot and another and another. We opened our eyes and saw the monster fall to the ground. Leading, we saw a man with a gun standing over it. He was a soldier, a guard. He had heard our screams and came to help. He saved us. He told us to follow him, and he took us to the exit. He asked us who we were and what we were doing there. We told him the truth, and he shook his head. He said we were lucky to be alive, and that we had to leave immediately. He said he would not arrest us, but he would not help us either. He said we had to find our own way back and never come back. He said we had seen something we should not have seen and that we should forget it. He said it was a secret, a curse, a nightmare. He said it was Chernobyl. For more stories like this, you can like the video and subscribe to my channel.